This video is going to show you how to make these little treat bags. They're about 3 by 4.5 inches or so. You can see where I've made them and then ironed on a decal. I've made them in different colors. Here's another example. And then here's a gray one. And then I use them and fill them with candy. I'm making them for a wedding favor. The first step is cutting out your material. You can see I've cut a 5.5 by 15-inch strip. I like to use cotton because it's easier to fold. To get started, you're going to edge the short width. So I kind of fold like 3/4 of an inch once, twice. So you can see there's a nice edge. Then with just a blue pen, I'm going to mark where it meets the other end. So if I open it up, you can see 2 slight marks about 3/4 of an inch in. Then I'm going to do the same to the other side. And you could actually measure it, but I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. And then I always fold it just to make sure that both ends are even. And you can see it's going to make a nice little bag. If you have access to an ironing board and a nifty little measuring tool, you could actually measure. I just kind of score both sides and then iron it. This is always a nice way to get a uniform bag. Then you can flip it over and do the other side. Just kind of score, and then you're going to get a nice edge on both sides. And when you fold it, it should be even. Perfect. Ready to sew. Here they are, nice and ironed and folded over with a blue fabric pencil. I'm just going to mark about 3/4 of an inch in. This is where I will cut. I could always measure it with my nifty little tool just to make sure. Actually, the seams I want 1/2 inch, so we're going to make sure it's 1/2 inch. Next step is just snipping on the little blue line, just 3/4 of an inch in. And again, just where the line was, 3/4 of an inch in. Again, you could measure it. I'm just kind of eyeballing it on all sides. Okay. Then the next step is you're going to zigzag the edge. For this, you're going to need a sewing machine. To start, I'm going to edge the casing 1/2 inch in with just a zigzag stitch. One thing I discovered, a nice tip if you don't want so many strings, is start on one end, do your zigzag, turn it around, do the top edge. You're not really sewing anything on the top edge, but you don't have to cut your thread. Make sure you're ready and fold it on the other side. Bring it to the point where you want to zigzag, and then just turn. So I zigzagged both edges. You can see both edges here, 1 and 2, but I only have 1 string to cut. Just is a nice tip because then you don't have so many strings to get rid of later. Once your edge is nice and zigzagged, then you can go back to the original fold, fold it down, and just stitch across. This is going to be your casing. do it on both sides. Now you can see that both sides are done. What I'm going to do is now make sure they're even and matching, and I'm going to sew the sides. So now they're matched up. And the best way is to start from the narrow edge, the bottom of the bag, and sew forward. Sew to the top. That way you don't start on the bulky side, because sometimes it's hard for your needle to get through all that bulk. So I'm using the little dot here as a guideline on my machine as 1/2 inch. You can see sides are now neatly sewn. Just make it a little neater, I'm going to go ahead and clip the corners. So I'm going to draw a blue line where I'm going to clip, just that corner right there. See how I clip that? And then I'm going to clip the bottom corner. Once you've done it a few times, you don't need to put the blue line. That's going to give you a nicer finish when you flip them over inside out. Before you flip them right side out, I folded the bag. Let me show you how I did that. Okay, so there's the clipped corner on the bottom. I'm just going to stick my finger in that corner and give it a little triangle shape. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sew across where my scissors are, just to give the bag a nice little flat bottom. Again, using my little hole as a guideline, I'm going to line up the point of my corner and just sew across. Back and forth makes a nice little knot, and then you can just clip all the threads. Okay, sewing the other corner. Now you can turn the bag, flip it right side out. You can see there's a nice little flat bottom corner. This will make it nicer when I put the candies in it. There's the little bag, what it looks like without the decal. Now the top casing, we just need to put the ribbon. For the ribbon, I just use a 1/4 inch ribbon. I bought this in Tucson. As you can see, this whole roll was just $3.99. It's amazing. It's a store, and look at all the ribbon you can get. Much better than buying it for $1 a shot for those little rolls. So what I use is just a regular ruler. You need 24 inches, so just make it go around the ruler twice and snip. 24 inches of ribbon, and I like to use a tiny little pin to put through the casing. I'm going to put it through double, and by that I mean I'm going to put it through once, one side, once the other side, and then through again, twice. That way it makes a nice little drawstring that you can pull from both ends. Here's what I mean. Okay, so it's been pulled through each side once. Now I'm going to get the pin and do it again. That way you get a nice double string. So I hope you can see that, how the ribbon has been pulled through twice, and the amount that's left over right here is just enough so you can make a nice, maybe a triple knot. There's the little triple knot. You can see the loop and then the knot. What I like to do is pull the ribbon from both ends and make the knot end up somewhere in the middle here so you don't see it. See if I can do that to kind of show you how. And you might have to kind of guide the knot in on one end. Okay, so there. Now you have a nice little drawstring bag. The knot is somewhere in the middle there. So there it is. There's your little bag. You can open it up. Has a nice little bottom. Once it's pressed, look really nice. And then I just kind of put the decal right here in the middle. Getting ready to press them. I made sure the knot is here in the middle. I'm going to press it. I'm going to fold the bottom with a little pleat when I press it so it stays nice and flat. So here's the top and the bottom. Once it's nice and pressed, you'll be ready to put the decal in the middle.